it's going to be more of an introduction, inshallah. Here is an important thing noticed for us in here. We just announced it in Salatul Jum'ah. The good thing is, mashallah, some people are here, but I expect everybody to be interested about that, da'wah and spreading Islam. Just 45 minutes every week, trying to learn some techniques, so it shows how Muslims are interested or not interested in da'wah, and it's the status quo that we live in. Da'wah is one of the most important things, but Muslims probably are not doing it as they are supposed to. Options for us to do da'wah is to clone somebody. Cloning, those are the people I was thinking. When I think of da'wah, I think of Sister Lina, Sister Hiba, Sister Farida, amongst others. They are always doing da'wah. Some brothers as well, but when I personally think of da'wah, I think of those. So we are either cloning them. I didn't put any pictures, but this is one brother somewhere else in another community. For some reason, we as Muslim community are working as individuals rather than as groups. It's also the same thing. In most of the masajid, many masajid, one person. Da'wah is done by 1 or 2 people at an individual level with some support from the community. We need to change that. The other option is to train a team. To train a team. Every Muslim, or at least majority of those who attend the masjid should be ready. Should be ready to, do da'wah and stuff. I forgot one of the most important names. I know this is going to cause me some trouble. Sister Saida, Sister Saria. One of the names that should come to your mind when you are thinking or talking about da'wah. So the options for us is to make cloning for somebody, which is so easy, as you know. But easier than that is to just train some people. Somebody like Usairim, somebody like all the youth, all the sisters, to be able to make da'wah. Jumping to the thing quickly, da'wah is an individual duty and it's a collective effort. It's us working together. Having a teamwork. Not someone working in one direction and the rest of the team is working elsewhere, as you see. Sometimes this happens. Even in our masajid, somebody is coming and he is getting different answers or different, things to confuse him rather than enlightening him. No, we need to work as a team. We need to focus on certain special things and avoid other things as we are making da'wah. So what is da'wah? Linguistically, it's from da'a. To make da'wah is yad'u, from da'a yad'u in Arabic, which is to invite. To invite someone. You are inviting. And technically, it's to spread the awareness of Islam. And da'wah, when we think of da'wah, we think of it as some addressing non-Muslims, trying to get people to Islam. Yes, that's the biggest form of da'wah, but it is also to, as well as non-Muslims, it's to Muslims and to new Muslims. We see it and we witness it in our community, in all communities. Some people come to Islam somehow. Many of them, majority of them, do not come because we make good da'wah to them. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them somehow. The thing is, everybody is interested. If somebody is interested in Islam, everybody is interested to talk to them, to give them information about Islam, to be nice to them, to invite them. Once they accept Islam, we don't give them the same level of importance. We need to focus on new Muslims as well, and Muslims themselves. If you work, my work for a week or two, you will, subhanallah, we have a lot of Muslims in the same small city like this every day. In the previous city I was in, I was there for close to, 6-7 years. And up until the last day, I was getting to know about Muslims who have been always living in Durham, North Carolina, but I never knew anything about them. And up until today in Panama City Beach, I've been here this is the 4th year for me. I'm discovering people who are new, talking about communities. I'm invited in a ceremony to make a wedding contract or something. And here you see all people coming from that ethnicity, specific ethnicity. And where are you coming from? You should be from another city. No, from Panama City Beach. We are here from Panama City. Where are you guys? So subhanAllah, Muslims need da'wah, as well as new Muslims and non-Muslims. So everybody is in need for da'wah. And again, what is da'wah? What is the purpose of da'wah? Da'wah is to convey the message. It's not to convert. It's not to make someone else become a Muslim. It's rather, in alayka illa al-balagh. The mission of the Prophet ﷺ, as Allah told him, Your mission is to convey. So do your job and share Islam with others. Da'wah is an obligation. It's not an option. It's not an option. It's, number one obligation on Muslims in non-Muslim countries. Number one obligation is to tell them about Islam. Some of those who kind of conservative as far as Muslims living in non-Muslim countries, the biggest excuse for them is that they should give da'wah. Muslims are there. The excuse for them to live in there, biggest excuse to give da'wah. But Muslims are not actually, doing it the right way at least. It's done. We don't want to be, looking from a negative perspective, but it's not as supposed to be. And we have to know that guidance at the end is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ. You could be giving da'wah to the same person for years. He got to know Islam and everything as far as information, but they never decide to accept Islam. Another person, you never know, subhanAllah, talking to him a couple of words and he comes to Islam. So, examples for us, da'wah of Abu Dharr, the friend of the Prophet ﷺ, al-Sahabi, al-Tufayl ibn Amr, Malcolm X, amongst other names that we hear either from our legacy, from the times of Sahaba. Abu Dharr, he was one person. He managed to get all of his people. It took him years, but they came. He managed to be, all of them will come in his record. Al-Tufayl ibn Amr, same thing. He got through certain things, calling on his people. They didn't accept it at the beginning, but then at the end, all of them accepted Islam because of one person. That's going to be the investment of life. If only one person come to Islam through you. And even if they don't come to Islam, you share the life of Islam with someone, you did your job, you will get the reward of prophets. Because the mission of prophets are to give the da'wah, and you did give the da'wah. Successful da'iyas, whether you agree or disagree, but those are at least some people who are figures for da'wah in America and here. Yusuf Estes, previous priest, from Texas, and he's now, mashallah, starting even a TV channel for da'wah, and Khalid Yassin, Yusuf Islam, Zayd Shakir, Hamza Yusuf, all of these names are there. So Muslims are present and they are there, but you just need to, we need to get another generation, second generation, and more importantly, indigenous people from here to carry the banner of Islam. The types of da'wah, very quickly. We have the da'wah to Muslims, we can talk about this. We have da'wah to non-Muslims, and then we have da'wah to new Muslims, as we said. The da'wah to Muslim will come in terms of advice. إِنَّمَا أَوْ الدِّينُ النَّصِيحَةِ. Nabi Sallallahu said, religion is nasiha, is to give advice. And giving advice is an ode to correction for the community. You advise me, and I advise you. It's not because I give you advice that I'm better than you. No, your turn should come that you should give me advice as well. So we ought to correct one another. Home da'wah, a lot of people who might not come to the masjid, and I am a witness, if somebody is not connected to the masjid who are living here, I don't want to be judgmental, but it's so difficult to practice Islam if you do not come to the center of Islam. So those who do not come to the masjid, يعني يخشى عليهم. I'm afraid for them. In a regular basis, I'm speaking. What about your kids? How you get to know Islam if you do not come to them? I'm not saying that you're not Muslim or you're not going to get to Jannah or anything, but masjid for us here in the West is the center. A lot of people do not come. We need to check on them. We need to visit them. That's one file in here that is easy. We can talk about it, but it needs regular visits, maybe every week, every month. Go and check on each other. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would ask if someone is missing from the salah. He would say, what about such and such? What happened to him? Oh, he is sick. We need to do it. It's da'wah. Da'wah in present da'wah. This is something, wallahi subhanallah, it's challenging and everything, but they usually request this kind of da'wah. Either Muslims, majority of them or all of them are Muslims in there. They are incarcerated and they need da'wah. The problem is many of Muslims, would be reluctant. No, I don't want to go there. But you have a lot of people in there. A lot of people in there. Many times the priest or the minister, he requested somebody coming from the masjid to address those guys. They need da'wah. If you give da'wah, who are the people who are in need most for da'wah? It's those who are the farthest from Islam or, need to come closer to Islam. So if somebody made a mistake and he is incarcerated, then that needs da'wah and support more than anyone else. Many Muslims might not give that kind of support. Many times I'm requested to go. I went a few times, but I'm not able to go every week. They need someone to go every week. We have, you don't know that, but we have a lot of correctional facilities around us, and many of them, they have Muslims. They have big numbers of Muslims in there. Around us in here, in any city, wherever you go, they need da'wah and they request for da'wah, and this is another thing that we need to focus on. The form of khutbah and lectures and things like that, this is another form of da'wah for Muslims. Amongst other forms that could be there. Da'wah to non-Muslims, it comes in the form of tours to our masjid. A lot of people love to come and see us and watch us. I have somebody who's just coming this Monday, and almost every week or two, people requesting to come for, to see Muslims, either for research purposes or just, individuals like that. We have visits, sometimes classes, whole classes are coming to visit us, either as part of their study or just to get to know, as a field trip or something. We have the open house. Alhamdulillah, we are almost doing it every year, and big turnout comes. People come in here, so that's another form of da'wah. We have sharing Ramadan and Eid parties and Ramadan dinners. That's another form of da'wah that we can invite people over, and we're talking about hundreds of people who come to those opportunities. We have also the form of literature, street da'wah. Businesses that we have, we deal with non-Muslims day and night. We can always, through our businesses, as the chance comes, we can give da'wah. We have the interfaith, and we have the school and college visits. A lot of forms of da'wah, a lot of opportunities. Just a couple of days ago, we had this hijab day, International Hijab Day, and they were, we tried to contact them. Sisters mainly did it, contact the college to just show the people, this is the scarf, this is the hijab for Muslims, if you want to put it on and try it on and see yourself. And they requested us, as far as I understood, they requested to have it in a second location in the campus. So people are, receptive for that. You might feel they are, reluctant to, receive us or talk about hijab. No, they offer us another place to give da'wah, another booth or another table to talk about Islam. And then the da'wah to the new Muslims, and that's mentorship. Mentorship. Somebody needs to take care of that brother or that sister from A to Z. Check on them, teach them, give them the social support. That should be done by the community as well, but someone should be assigned for each new Muslim to take care of them. That's why, because this is not happening, we lose many of them. How many people come and say the Shahada, but we never see them again? We don't have these programs. Yes, we have the Imam and we have the board, but we really need to stand up as a community. All of that I'm talking about, it needs groups and teams of people. We're talking about one item, but that needs a big team of people who will be ready to work and assist and support and, give the need or give the help when it's needed. The criteria for da'wah. Basic knowledge of Islam. Culture, you might dispute that, but at least the basic knowledge of Islam is needed. This is a substance. And I guess everybody of us, they got the knowledge of Islam. You don't want to go to the details. You don't want to force your own flavor of Islam or culture of Islam. Yes, you need to be aware of our culture and their culture, but above all, you have to be aware about the basic things. What's basic in Islam? What is the most important? Is it what you eat? Is it what you dress? Is it to do this or that, to say those words? Or what is it? We have to be aware of what is the most important thing in Islam, which is what the Prophet ﷺ taught the Sahaba for the first 13 years. Nothing but La ilaha illallah. Teach them La ilaha illallah and the concept of Tawheed. And then we have to have the means for that. The good English, we have to try to improve our communication skills. This is the language of this country. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ. That's why the youth will be the best to do that if they have all of those qualifications. Then we have the communication skill or the style. You don't want to oppose people. You don't want to put people to defend themselves. You don't want to attack them. You rather want to, a da'iyah is like a salesman. You are, giving a product to them. You have to beautify it. You have to speak nice. You have to offer it in a best way. It could be done by brothers or sisters. It could be done by different ages and, diverse communities. Whoever you are, you are old, you are young, have that much knowledge or less knowledge, everybody is in a place to make da'wah because everybody is qualified to be in the place of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and speak for Islam. Not necessarily about all the fiqh things, but about the, according to the amount of knowledge that you got. Da'wah to non-Muslims as the first category. We have people of the book. Ahlul Kitab. Who are the people of the book? Two Jews, Christians. They have been given the book from Allah like we are given Al-Quran. How to speak to them and how to talk to them. Some da'wah techniques. Again, all of that is an introduction. From next lecture, we're going to talk about details of things, and we're going to go more profound into things. Da'wah by words versus actions. You can look at the merchants and traders who went to Indonesia, early Muslims. They never told them a word of Islam. But probably the biggest two Muslim countries nowadays is Indonesia and Malaysia. No Muslim soldier or anything went there, no missionaries. Just merchants, traders went there. They saw how honest, how fair they are in the way they deal with them. They accepted Islam. Are we giving a best of example for people around us? Are we fair when we deal with them? Are we honest? Or are we trying to, do things that do not present Islam in the best way? Da'wah to non-practicing, a close family member. Could be a father, could be a mother, could be a husband, could be a wife. That's another, way of making da'wah, especially if those are non-Muslims. The knowledge. When somebody accepts Islam, we think of them as a flash drive that we want to upload everything into their minds. You have to do 1, 2, 3. This is what we have to eat. This is what you have to. Well, take it easy on me. What's so easy for you, how to make wudu and how to say this, is not easy for him. He got a lot of, a whole lot of things to do and to learn and to get through. Take it easy because it should go gradually. إنك تأتي قوما أهل كتاب. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he sent his friend. He told him, you're going to a people, the people of the book. So this is how you deal with them. Tell them about La ilaha illallah. Teach them La ilaha illallah. If they got it, they accept it, they are good with it, then move to the next level. Teach them salah. So we need to go gradually with them. That's not to say they don't have to pray or they don't have. No, take it easy with them as far as they can absorb and take. We have to follow wisdom with those people. You have to be wise. I saw it and I heard it with my eyes. People come, accept Islam, and I am kind of guarding them. This brother is so enthusiastic about da'wah. This sister is so enthusiastic about da'wah. But I see them talking to them about things. Now, brother, this is what you have to do. And they talk to them about the beard. It's not to say beard is not important. They talk to them about, the pubic hair and this and that. Well, all of that, we can talk about it. But let's just take it easy on them and teach them about the most important thing, the major things rather than the minor ones, because everything will come, the time will come for it. Sincerity, we have to be so sincere as we are giving da'wah. We are doing it for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not for anything else. And do not push. Many times we are energetic. I know he is interested about Islam. She is. Talk to them and push them. And you know what? If you accept Islam today, do not push. Let them. That's not an easy decision. I know I didn't go through that, but I know it's a huge decision to make. Let's just imagine that you are changing your faith. You are reverting to. You are challenging the entire legacy of your people, the entire past of your own self. That's not an easy decision. So take it easy on them, and they will come when time comes, inshallah. Challenges as we're making da'wah, those are the kinds of minds or people, some minds that we could be dealing with. The challenges could be, I would start with our own selves and our own communities, the miserable conditions in the Muslim world. Alright, you're inviting me to Islam. You want me to be like what? Who? Show me. You want me to be like the Egyptians or like the Afghani or miserable condition going on in the... That's one of the challenges that we need to deal with. Irresponsible behavior of some Muslims. Talking about Islam right now, oh yeah, you need to go bomb places and do things. A lot of Muslims do things that are really irresponsible and it's not, talking well about Islam. It's doing the opposite. not enough, we usually may not have enough people or enough funds for da'wah because we sometimes marginalize it. It's not the most important. Individual effort, as I said, when we think of da'wah in our community and other communities, we don't have like committees and some expenditure, some budget for da'wah, some calendar in there. We need to do that. We need to have a communal effort, a teamwork rather than individual effort. That one of the challenges is the impact of 9/11. We all know how this is affect, regardless of the politics of it, but it did affect, the image of Islam in the minds of so many people. We have the media and the stereotypes, what's going on. They always talk about Islam and jihadists and this and that. So this is what we are dealing with. We are being stereotyped. But we are not the only people who are being stereotyped. Adwar al-Namatiyya, or a Muslim, yeah, a terrorist. Or a Muslim, and that means an Arab. A Muslim, you should be having 4 wives. A Muslim, you should... Those kind of stereotypes are not only for us, because we have other communities who stereotype Mr. Barack Obama. The minute he came, oh, he's Obama. That's like Osama. That means like he is Muslim, so he should be, that's what some American would think of him. They would think of him as a Muslim, they would think of him as a terrorist, they would think of him, and you see Arabs are always depicted in the movies as being some kind of a barbaric guy, some kind of a nomad guy. We see that's in the image that they are depicting, they are propagating, they are putting in the minds of people out there. They are, we have the African Americans, and the stereotypes about them being such and such. They are whatever, lazy people. We are not alone in that. A lot of communities, Latinos, even Jews and Native Americans, a lot of communities, stereotyping is actually a disease that's, knowledge will be the solution for it. So this is some of the history of the stereotypes. But let me tell you something, many of those challenges that we come across, subhanAllah, yes, they work in some dimensions against da'wah and against Muslims, but in many dimensions they work for us. Wallahi, they work for us. Yani when something like one attack happened or something, and Islam is everywhere in the news, they are talking about it negatively. But you have certain percentage of people who come and ask about Islam and get to know about Islam just because of this, because it's everywhere in the media. What is this thing that they are talking about? And many of them accept Islam. Here are some quick facts that we all know. Islam is the second largest faith in the world. We are not aliens, even in numbers. That's Christians are, 32% or something of the world population. Muslims are 21% of the Muslim population, just second to Christians. Islam is the second largest faith in Europe and in North America. Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. Around 1.6 billion Muslims worldwide. That's 1 out of every 4 in this world is a Muslim. Out of every 4 people, 1 of them is a Muslim. 3 out of every 4 reverts are women. That's the numbers. Those are the statistics out there. Arabs, because we have the stereotype of a Muslim, that means an Arab. Arabs make up only 18 to maybe 20 at the maximum, 20% of the Muslim population, the world Muslim population. That's just 1/5 of the Muslim population. More Muslims in America than in Qatar and Bahrain, believe it or not. And again, because you know that we do not have a specific figure for how many Muslims in the United States. They go anywhere from 2-3 millions, according to the official numbers, all the way to some people take it to 7, and some even take it to 12 to 15 million people. We don't have an exact figure. So even if you're talking about 3 millions are more than the residents of Qatar and Bahrain. If you go up to 10 millions or something, that's more than Qatar, Bahrain, Emirates, and all of these little countries out there. So we have some substantial number of Muslims around us, around here in America, that are present out there. Muslim world, as it's called, is focused in this part of the world, in the middle of the world. This is North Africa, and this is Arabia, and this part of Asia in there, those green places out there. And this is the...
Could you go back to
just ignore the red spot for me.
No, not the red spot. You go back. One of the countries which is labeled green it's not a Muslim country. It's
What is it?
Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is not a Muslim country, but somehow it's that little thing at the bottom of India. That's called Sri Lanka.
Okay, so
Sri
it's
Lanka,
not.
Sri Lanka is definitely not a Muslim country.
Okay.
It's all-
Sri Lanka has some Muslims, but not
Yeah,
probably
there's-
not a
yeah,
Muslim.
no,
Not all of that is like, you know, that's the biggest Muslim population in the world, the most intensity of Muslim population, if you wish, in the world. India also is not a Muslim country, but we have what, more than 100 million Muslims in America, in India,
more
right?
Muslims in India than in Pakistan.
No,
You know that?
that's not.
We can get to that later, inshallah.
Just close to it, but not.
Right, close to it. So we have, this is the percentage in here. Christianity, 33%. Islam, just second to Christianity. And many, by the way, they classify Islam as the biggest world faith. Not like the second, is the first, the largest world faith. Because when we think of Christianity, it's not one thing. Yes, in Islam we have Sunnis and Shias, but this is, you know, if you compare it to how many denominations in Christianity, Christians are completely and sometimes different from one another. They have so many denominations, but anyway, if we put all of these denominations and Catholic and all of them together, Muslims will come second to that anyway. Islam defined. What is Islam? This is the first thing as we are talking about it. We have to personally know what is Islam. Islam is to surrender to, or surrender and purity and peace. The word salama, it means, or, you know, منها استسلم is to surrender or submit. And it also means salim, salim min al-uyub, salim min al-afat, free. It's free from, you know, any defect. That means purity, pure from anything. And peace, from it comes salam. So the combination of those three meanings together will give you the meaning of Islam. So it's not only that's the linguistic meaning in Arabic. It's a Muslim is not somebody who follows Prophet Muhammad. That's the technical meaning of it. Islam or a Muslim is somebody who surrenders and who purifies himself and he lives in peace. That's a Muslim. Islamic meaning, the Islamic meaning of it, after the coming of the Prophet ﷺ, actually they are the followers of all the prophets. According to Quran itself, أسلمت وجهي لله رب العالمين, that's Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, talking about himself as Muslim. وأنا من المسلمين. We have Prophet Noah, Prophet Abraham, Dabour alayhi salam, Solomon, Isaac, Jacob. All of them are talking of themselves as Muslims, or their followers as من المسلمين. So وعلى الله فتوكلوا إن كنتم مسلمين. That's Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. So everybody, all of these prophets, at least in the Quran, they call themselves and their followers Muslims. The essence of the message of Islam is worship Allah or God alone and be good to everybody around you. That's the essence of this message, to build the relationship with Allah, with your Lord, your Creator, and the relationship with everybody around you. That's the essence, the core of Islam. And then a Muslim is a person who submits to God. Any person who submits to God, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is a Muslim. Al-Hawariyun, the disciples, the followers of Jesus alayhi salam, they followed, they submitted themselves to Allah. They are Muslims. As they called themselves in Surah Al-Ma'idah, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called them. A Muslim who does not believe in God's prophets and His divine books is not a Muslim. As a Muslim, you have to take all the religions and all that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about. We accept Christianity and Judaism. And again, we accept the origin, the Christianity that came through Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. We accept Al-Yahudiyya that came through Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Because we are the true heirs of that. نحن أولى بعيسى نحن أولى بموسى. This is how it is. Definitely not the Christianity that's in nowadays, but the origin of that. We have the 10 Commandments, very quickly. We see them in the Bible, the Old Testament, we see them in the Quran. Now again, we are not addressing Muslims now, just as being Muslims, we're trying to expose you guys to how to speak to them. That's why we'll be quoting things from the Bible. That's to understand the language, to get to them. 10 Commandments is found in the Bible, in the Quran, almost the same thing. In the Bible, it's in there. Those are the 10 Commandments. Do not worship any other gods. Do not make any idols. Do not misuse the name of God. Keep the Sabbath holy. Honor that's the God part. And then the man part, honor your father and mother, do not murder, do not commit adultery, do not steal, do not lie, do not covet. We see these